What does it do, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Scotty Says. I am your host, and I have refrained from making another Lakers video since I preached a eulogy for these fellas last year. I say some 25, 30 episodes ago. But I feel that the time is right for a Lakers episode now in the new year in the Deuce Tray. And it just so happens we are at the midway point of the season. 41 games played now for the Lakers. So we're halfway through the 82 game grind. And this is a perfect time to do an update on my beloved Lakers. So let's get right to the action, shall we? Now, the first thing we have to say is they started off rough. Rough. The Lakers started off 2-10. And for all intents and purposes, they look very much like that same lousy squad that I preached a eulogy for and threw the dirt on last season. Oh, but what do you know? What a difference a head coach makes. And after starting off 2-10, the Lakers, since that point, have gone 17-12. And that'll work. And so at the 41 game mark, at the halfway point, the Lakers sit at 19-22. Now, yes, they are still under 500, but they are within striking distance of 500. And at 19-22, they currently sit 12th in the West. But they also are just a stone's throw from 6th. That's just how bunched up and how close the parity is in the NBA in the Western Conference. So, for example, the Lakers, even though they sit in the 12th spot as we speak, they are 2 games out of the 6th spot, which is now currently held by them fellas across the hall at Crypto. The Crypt was appropriately my nickname for it last year. The LA Clippers sit in the 6th seed, and the Clips currently are 22-21. See, just a game over 500. So the Lakers are just 2 games behind the Clippers for that 6th seed, and that would put them directly in the playoff mix were the playoffs to start today. And so I think it bears worth delving into the specifics, the particulars as to how this team has risen up out of the grave and turned itself around. So let's start where we have to start, with the king, LeBron James, LBJ. Now, breaking news. Just today, reports are that LeBron James wants to finish his career as a Laker, per reports coming out today. And to that I say, welcome home, King. Welcome home. I mean, I can't help but remember that championship he brought to Cleveland. Cleveland, this is for you. And so you've done the impossible for Cleveland and took that long woe-begotten city from the outhouse to the penthouse and delivered them a championship. You delivered the Heat a couple of chips. And now, as a Laker, where you need to be, you've already delivered a chip here in La La. And so it is my sincere hope that LeBron will get at least to number 5 and be even with the likes of Magic and Kobe when it comes to Laker greats with 5 championships. And so he needs at least one more in the purple and gold. And I just have a feeling he's going to do it. And beyond that, look at how well the King is playing. Deep into his 20th season, 38 years old. Balling out of control. He's averaging 29, 8, and 7. What? 29 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists on the season. His 20th. By far the greatest 20th season in NBA history. He looks like Father Time cannot touch him at this juncture. And so he's missed 10 games so far, and I can live with that. 10 out of 41. He's on pace to play around 62 or so games. That's great. And with the stellar performances that the King is delivering, dropping 40s and 45s and a 50 burger here or there, the Lakers are going to be trouble to deal with come playoff time as long as they qualify. So the King is doing his thing and is a stalwart, a staple in the Lakers lineup. Now, who else beside the King has been putting in yeoman work? Well, listen. Let's go down. Let's go down the list of characters. Now, you got Russ. Oh, Russ. And Russ. Listen. Russ was a disaster last year. Just a mess. But look at Russ now. He has accepted a new role. He is running away by far with the Sixth Man of the Year honor. And he's contributing to winning basketball. Still too many turnovers for my liking. You gotta kind of accept that a little bit when it comes to Russ. But the energy he's bringing off the bench, it has been invaluable. And again, what a difference a coach makes. We'll get back to that. So I'm content with Russ. I mean, $47 million, that's a lot of money that he's making this year. So who knows how this plays out beyond this year. But for now, Russ has found a role. He's occupying a niche, and I like it. Then you got old Dennis Schroeder. Dennis is pretty good. I like Dennis when he was with the Lakers the first go round. Now, he fumbled a big bag and he had to eat a little bit of humble pie, but he's back in purple and gold. And by and large, for the most part, doing good work. You got Pat Bev in the starting lineup. Now, Pat Bev does not give you much in terms of statistics. He's not going to give you big numbers. He's not going to score much, rebound, even assist. But the one thing Pat Bev does give you is grit, energy, hustle, heart. And I like it. And apparently so does the coach, because he's kept him in the starting lineup. So, you got to say that as an energizer piece, someone filling a role, Pat Bev is doing good work. Now, Listen, Thomas Bryant, T. Bryant, has been a complete and utter revelation. The man is balling out of control. He stepped in when the rubber band man Robin went down. We'll get back to him. And he now, in my opinion, has earned a starting role. Thomas Bryant. He's not the biggest guy, not the fastest guy, probably doesn't jump the highest, isn't the strongest, but he's got that grit, that hustle, that heart. He's like the Energizer Bunny, and he's pulling boards and he's shooting an incredibly high percentage. He's reliable in the lane. I like what I'm seeing from Thomas Bryant. And you know who else I like? I like Winyan Gabriel. I like him. Great energy. And see, once again, these are the things that the team was sorely lacking last year with the Vogelmeister and that lineup they had of the elderly. Winyan Gabriel has really come into his own and is an incredibly valuable piece off the bench. Now, we got to talk about the injured, right? And so, for example, Austin Reeves, he'll be back. He brings a lot of positives, some tangible, some intangible, but he's a winning ball player. Hey, Lonnie Walker IV, I like him. He's extremely athletic. He seems to have really improved on his shot-making abilities. And so these guys are giving you incredibly valuable contributions. And then the aforementioned and often alluded to Anthony Davis. Now, I called him Rubber Band Man Robin. And the reason I did is because he was supposed to be the Robin to LeBron's Batman when he came to join the Lakers. And he has served in that role, and he did win a championship. He's got a ring. You can't take that from him. But I call him the Rubber Band Man Robin because in my mind, it seems like there's always something with this dude, right? Like a nick, an injury, something holding him back, hampering him. So in my mind, in my imagination, I can see LeBron as Batman going, "Let's go, Robin. We got the Denver Nuggets tonight. You ready?" And I can see AD as the Rubber Band Man Robin going, "I'm ready, Batman. Let's do it." Well, except I do have a little bit of a shin ache. "I'm ready, Batman. It's Dallas tonight. I'm ready." But I do have a problem with my pinky knuckle. "Batman, I'm ready. We got the Memphis Grizzlies tonight." Oh, you know, that lower back, it's slowing me down. And so there's always a nagging situation with the Rubber Band Man Robin. And for a while, Anthony Davis was balling out of his mind. But, you hold your breath. You hold your breath every game. How long before it happens? And you knew it was going to happen. How long? Every time he falls on the floor, will he get up? Every game, when the game is over and it's like he made it through. Whew. And then, of course, it happened. It's something. It was. Is it his foot? I don't know what it is. But it was almost kind of shrouded in mystery. What is wrong with Anthony Davis? What is wrong with the Rubber Band Man Robin this time? Whatever it is, it shelved him. Put him on the shelf, and he has been out indefinitely now. Missing games is part of his deal. He's going to miss 30, 40 games. You can book it. So he could never be what he was supposed to be, the heir apparent to take over the mantle from LeBron? He can't be, because the best ability is availability, and the man is not reliably available. We know this. So there's that. The word is Anthony Davis will be coming back at some point in the not too distant future. Okay, and I mean, I'd be willing to say there's a very strong likelihood that even when he comes back, he's not going to be able to finish the season before he's out again. It'll be something. Oh, it's the New York Knicks tonight, Batman. I'm ready. I've got a little thing in my neck. It's cricking. Rubber band man Robin. But listen, when you add all these characters together, and I haven't mentioned everybody on the roster. You got Kendrick Nunn showing up a little bit. I thought he had the appropriate name last season, Nunn, because that's how many games he played for the Lakers, Nunn. You've got the youngster, the rookie like Christie, showing promise off the bench. And so when you add all these characters in, led by the king, LeBron James, you've got, in my estimation, the making of a potential threat in the playoffs. Now, this is really where I say you have to shine light and give credit. I think Darvin Ham, the head coach of the LA Lakers, ought to get consideration for Coach of the Year with what he's done. When they started off 2-10, and it looked like for all intents and purposes, it was the same sloppy, sorry mess as last year, he stayed with his program. He kept saying in the post game, we're going to stay with our process and the tide is going to turn. And I was like, is it though? But it turned. And his ability to communicate, the players seemed to relate to him. Unlike the Vogelmeister, look no further than what he did with Russell Westbrook. Now remember, when Darvin Ham first told Russ, I want to see you come off the bench, the first game off the bench, Russ said, my hammy, I got a hammy problem. I can't, this bench thing, I can't, my hamstring. But Darvin Ham stayed with it, stayed the course. Russ embraced the role. He wouldn't, I don't think, have done so with the Vogelmeister. He wasn't listening to the Vogelmeister. But Darvin Ham commands respect. And Russ has accepted and embraced the role. And I think Darvin Ham told him, listen to me, fella, and we're going to do some things. We're going to win, and you just might end up as sixth man of the year. And Russ said, oh, I could see that. And unlike last year when Russell Westbrook was in the game, the crowd was groaning and covering their eyes. Now when he comes in the game, the crowd cheers at home. Yay, Russ. It's a beautiful thing to see. That's Darvin Ham molding these guys. Some of these guys, it's the same group, Austin Reeves was there last year. Wenyen Gabriel was there last year. LeBron and the rubber band man Robin and Russ, they were all there last year. None. But he's taken that group along with the newcomers. JTA, Toscano Anderson. He gives you energy and heart and grit. I like him off the bench. And so he's melded this group into a group of people that believe in each other. I can see the effect Darvin Ham is having on that squad. And so he absolutely deserves consideration for Coach of the Year at this point so far in the season. And the Lakers, see, they have made a lot of bad coaching hires. You know, they hired Mike Brown back when they should have hired Bryant Shaw. Remember? They hired D'Antoni because they fired Mike Brown a week into the season or 2 weeks in. And D'Antoni ran Kobe into the ground and popped his Achilles. Remember? Then they hired Frankie the Vogelmeister Vogel instead of Ty Lue. Oh, what were you thinking? Lakers, management, front office, what were you thinking? But this time, I think they got it right. So we got to give credit where it's due. And so, as we speak, midway through the season, January of the Deuce Trey, the Lakers sit just a couple of games away from the 6th seed. As I mentioned, the Clippers are in 6th. In 7th place, you got Phoenix at 21-21. You got Golden State, the defending champions. You know, slug old Draymond and them. And they are just one game ahead of the Lakers at this point in time in the 8th seed. Phoenix, 21-21 in the 7th slot. In the 6th slot, you got the Clips, as I mentioned. In the 5th slot, you got the aforementioned Sacramento Kings. In the 4th slot, you got the Dallas Mavericks, and that is who the Lakers play next. In the 3rd slot, you got New Orleans. You got Denver. In the 2nd slot, the Lakers just lost to them, but they didn't have the King. And then leading the conference, the number 1 seed at this point in time, the Memphis Grizzlies. And I like Memphis and Ja quite a bit. But even them, they are only 28-13. And so you see, it's all well in play. And I'm very intrigued to see how the second half of the season plays out. Matter of fact, I had to get myself a ticket. Got to go see the King. Just as an aside, many years ago, I was a part of a commercial at the now gone, defunct Sports Arena. And LeBron James, a young chosen one, early in his career in Cleveland, was featured in the spot. It was a Nike spot. And he gave me a high five as I sat in the crowd in this commercial many, many years ago. 20 years, 18 years ago. And so this will be my first time to actually see the King play live. And he's going to be playing in purple and gold. So at this point, it is a foregone conclusion that LeBron James will be passing Kareem, the captain, for the all-time NBA scoring title. Just a matter of time now. And at this pace, it probably won't be more than a couple of 3 weeks from now. And I just have to say, it is a beautiful thing to watch basketball history unfold right before our very eyes, and it's even more enjoyable when the team is competitive and winning. Now, in a couple of weeks, it will be the 3rd anniversary of the awful, tragic, horrific chopper crash in Calabasas that claimed the life of Kobe Bryant and his daughter and 7 other passengers, including the pilot as well. Pilot error, we understand. In fact, I recently flew one of my drones from Calabasas, from a park there about a mile up terrain, and I found from the air the very site where Kobe's chopper went down. And so I'm going to release that drone footage of that flight to the Crash site on my other platform, Air Scotty. Please subscribe there if you haven't already. But I just want to say, 3 years later, it's hard to believe that the great Kobe Bryant is no longer with us. And, you know, it was a trip because the night before that accident, LeBron James passed Kobe to take over the third spot on the all-time scoring list. And that very next day, that tragic crash occurred. So much respect, big ups, rest in power to Kobe Bean Bryant, the Black Mamba. We still miss and love you. And so I want to wrap this up on a more upbeat note. The prognosis, as I see it, looks pretty good. I'm looking for the Lakers to play well, above 500 in the second half. I expect that they will make the playoffs, not just the play-in tournament, but make the playoffs as one of the top 6 seeds. That's what I'm looking to see. And LeBron James very soon will be the all-time scoring leader in NBA history. And I am very excited to see what else the Deuce Tray holds in store for my LA Lakers. So, what I need you to do at this point is throw me one of these. Throw it to me now. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell. Ring that bell so you'll be notified when I drop my next video. I got a lot of interesting subject matter and topics cooking in the lab, so you don't want to miss it. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. And until the next time, my friends, which won't be too long from this time, one love.